Hey everyone, so this is going to be a state of the build video, kind of just going over everything that I've done to the car in the last 2 years. Wanted to talk about some of the things that I've done, some of the things that I have in progress, and some things that I plan to do still for the future. So this is a 2022 BMW M3. This is the competition X-Drive variant. So getting into some of the options about the vehicle. So this one has the frozen Portimao blue metallic paint, the individual frozen paint here. It's essentially just satin paint or matte paint for other brands, but BMW calls it frozen. As well, I've got the executive package on here, so that includes things like the heads-up display, which you can kind of see right there, the power tailgate, so the trunk opens and closes by itself with the click of the button, which is pretty sweet. It also has the extended merino leather, so that's going to be the full black leather that goes up over the dash. It stitches onto the top half of the windows, kind of just rounds out the look a little bit, looks pretty clean. So more options this car has on it was the red brake calipers, $0 option, of course, it's nothing fancy. Additionally, I do have the sunroof on there. The roof is wrapped black, so that's probably why you can't tell that well. I don't mind the car, you save 20 pounds or whatever, 25 pounds by going with the carbon fiber roof. I don't plan to track the car or lower the center of gravity that much. It was not like a major concern for me. So I got the sunroof, I love it, I use it every day. Might be a deal breaker for some, but I love it. So yeah, I went with that. Let's see here, what else? We've got the shadow line kit on it, so that's like some more blacked out trim. I think that's pretty much everything as far as factory options for the car. The original MSRP for the vehicle was $87,000 when it was built in mid-2022. I think it was built like May 2022, so $87,000 out the door with the options that I've mentioned so far. So getting into the mods, we'll start with the front and just work our way back. I think that's probably the easiest, makes the most sense. So you can kind of see it right now, but there is a set of front mount intakes from FP Automotive, a local shop in my area. They're just pretty much all the same that you're going to find from other brands like RK Tunes. Silicone piping, small little vent front mount, gets the cool whoosh noises when you let off, and makes some pretty cool induction noises too. Additionally, we have the CSL carbon fiber grille. That's going to be from AutoTecknic, as well as the carbon fiber air ducts, which are also from AutoTecknic. Great parts, they fit pretty well. The quality's been outstanding for the last couple of years. No chips, no yellowing, no fading. So that's been nice. Additionally, there's a front lip from Sterckenn. I'll get closer so you can see that as well. That's the Sterckenn front lip. I get asked about this quite a bit, I think just because not a lot of folks know about the brand. And yeah, again, same thing, super reliable part. I've scraped it a couple times, but it's not showing any visible wear. Additionally, we've got the European style laser lights in there. The car did not come with laser lights from factory, so that's something that I retrofit myself. These ones are from BayOptiks. And again, I get a lot of questions about the difference between the European style laser lights versus the American market, North American ones. Difference being that there's an amber side marker right there that doesn't appear on the European style. As well, if you've ever noticed, there is like a little laser sticker right in there. That doesn't appear on the European style. So it's just a little bit cleaner of a look. I'll go to this side so you can see better. So it's a little bit cleaner of a look, kind of makes the car look a little bit less wonky without the orange side marker. Again, I think it's just the little details on this car that kind of help put it together into a place where I'm satisfied with it personally. Of course, as you can see right here, we've got some BBSs on the car. I think BBS and BMW is just like a timeless combination. I love BBS and BMW, kind of like something that's always stuck out to me for the motorsports heritage aspect and kind of that stuff. So these are BBS RIDs, finished in diamond silver. I got these from Ron over at AR Motorworks out in California. These were, I think, the last set in the US for the next couple months. Last I heard that they had been pretty much back ordered until like July of next year or something crazy like that. Or sorry, July of 2025. So back ordered for like another 6 months or something. So I got pretty lucky that I jumped on these when I did. Otherwise the car wouldn't look like this and I'd be waiting for some extra months. So continuing on, I guess it's not really something that you can see in the car, but I do have some downpipes in here. So we've got Active AutoWorks Gezi catted downpipes in here. They are, again, catted, so they do have Gezi cats in them, which is nice because it means no check engine light guaranteed by Active AutoWorks for 5 years. So if you're not tuned like I'm not tuned, this car's essentially stock. I don't have the ECU unlocked or anything. So if you're untuned in stock, for me, it was pretty much the only option that didn't, that wasn't going to create a check engine light essentially, and something that was going to bother me being on the dash all the time. Going back, we have the Active AutoWorks equal length mid pipe as well. The tone on that is just incredible. I think that that's one of the most worthy upgrades that I've done to the car so far, is just making it so that way it's got a little bit of a different tone than most other G80s. I'll get a sound clip in here for you guys so you can hear, but it just does have a bit of a different tone. Actually, I'll go ahead and remote start it real quick so you can hear. And so continuing on from there, I have the AWE Track Edition axle back. So that's the variant that doesn't have valve controller, no valves, no muffler box, no nothing. Let me see if I can get under there and actually get a shot. As you can see, it's just straight piping. There's nothing else to it. So essentially the car has the Gezi cats in there up in the downpipes. It doesn't have secondary cats and it doesn't have anything else. So it's essentially straight piped all the way back minus the cats and the downpipes. No rasp, which was also a big goal of mine. I think that the S55 and S58 suffer from both getting pretty raspy, which is kind of hard to avoid. So that's why I went catted downpipes again. You know, it was just kind of those things that factored into my decision making when I started modding this car. Another thing that the car didn't come with that I really wanted to have was carbon fiber buckets. This car did not come with them, and I think that's one of the best aspects of being able to get these cars is, you know, there's not a lot of cars that make factory bucket seats. I mean, I can think of a few brands off the top of my head, like Porsche and, you know, those types of things, but at like the BMW price point, there's not really a lot being made with them, and I think they just also look really good. So to get the retrofitted buckets in there, locally I was able to find somebody who was willing to swap me. I paid a couple $1,000 cash on top, which is a pretty good deal. Because I don't know if anybody's also in the market for doing a retrofit, but people are asking a lot of money, to be honest. I think I've seen $8,000, $10,000 on cash on top. $16,000 was a guy like a year ago who got memed to death on the forums for asking $16,000 for a swap, which is just outrageous. So a little bit more of the interior. Got the M Performance Alcantara armrest, probably one of the least useful mods. But I like the way it looks. I think it looks good with the black. These are the Alcantara M Performance knee pads. The reason that these got swapped is actually when the buckets were going in, the seat rails damaged the factory leather ones, so I just swapped those out. And so the next thing that's pretty obvious about this car modification-wise is the roll cage that's in here. This is from StudioRSR. It's their Tesseract roll cage, I think, or Cartesian, I can't remember. There's like two different models. I don't know the difference, to be honest with you. This is more of a just aesthetics thing for me. The car is probably not going to get tracked. It's not really something that I have in mind as a goal for the car. Maybe one day, but I really just like the way that it looked. I think it looks fantastic with the black interior. And it obviously is probably the mod I get the most questions about. There's not a lot of G80s that are rocking the cage for obvious reasons. I mean, who buys a four-door to put a cage in the back and make the rear seats useless? So yeah, this is an attention grabber for sure. It gets a lot of comments, a lot of questions. I love it. I think it looks really cool. I mean, if you come back and look, it's a pretty unique kind of setup. There's, again, not a lot of cars that run this, so it's something I just wanted to do because I think it looks fantastic. Another shot of the cage, kind of what it looks like. I'm sure you've seen by now, but yeah. So continuing on from there, I do have a high kick spoiler. This is from MHC. Top-notch quality fitment, everything. I've had no issues with this. Looks great. It's held up well. I additionally have the F1 style LED diffuser, carbon fiber diffuser from MHC. It might be a little bit hard to see in this angle, but again, bolted right in, or sorry, snapped right in. Wired right up to the brake light, no problem. Again, just a little thing that kind of makes it look good. There's some other mods to the car, obviously, that I haven't discussed, but those are all pretty standard, and I'm sure you can guess by now. I mean, we've got KW's height adjustable springs on there. It's maxed out on the lowest settings they can go. I might switch to coils eventually just because they're a better solution long-term, and they ride a little bit nicer, and I guess the adjustability is pretty sweet. I am running spacers. This is not a commonly known fact as far as I know, but BBS really does not make very aggressive fitment from factory. So that is the only downside about these wheels. You pay a lot of money for wheels that don't necessarily have the most aggressive fitment. But as you can see, I've tried to fix that as much as I could. So I've got 15mm spacers in the front, 7 in the rear. I don't know if it picks up on video, but they do kind of rub. Mostly at highway speeds. I don't have any rubbing inside of the fender liner, thankfully. It's probably one of the only cheap things that I did to this car, to be honest with you guys, is I dremeled out the fender liner like vents that fit right there, the fins. Just because there was no way that these wheels were going to clear that. They made a horrific rubbing noise for like the first week or whatever until I got around to taking care of that. So the front fender liner thing in there is zip tied and dremeled out to like keep it as far away from the wheel as possible. So last thing I'll touch on in this video is just future mods for the car. As it sits right now, as you can see, I've pretty much done everything that I wanted to do exterior wise or like carbon fiber wise. Maybe I'll get like side skirt extensions that are made out of carbon fiber or something, but it's not like top of mind. Same with like carbon fiber mirror caps. I don't really care about those that much. That might be an eventual thing. So I think at this point, what I would like to do most is go to a single turbo setup, probably rock like a 6870 just because it's a stock motor, stock trans. And so, you know, do the T51R mod so you can get that nice fighter jet spool up noise and all that cool stuff. Again, mostly just for the sound and aesthetics. I'm not going to be putting this thing through passes on the quarter mile or anything like that. Well, we'll see. I don't know. Maybe that'll spark something in me when I get the setup. But that's pretty much the major update left for this car. Is just a big single turbo and of course all the supporting mods and getting the ECU unlocked and everything else like that. So that will probably happen sometime this year. Depends. My wife and I are trying to buy a house here in South Florida, which if you're from the area, you know is very expensive. So trying to balance the budget between saving for a house and aligning those goals and also just continuing to mod this thing because I can't get enough of it. So again, last question. This is something I get a lot and it's something I'm not very proud of, is how much money is in mods in this car. So prices will fluctuate. I've recorded everything at the time that I bought it. Some things I got on sale locally, secondhand, like the cage. I think it's a $2,200 cage, $2,600, something like that. I managed to pick it up for $1,100 from a guy locally who sold his G80 and moved on to a G87. Shout out to him for the great hookup on the price. So yeah, the prices do fluctuate, and not everything I say here is going to be perfectly accurate. I do keep a running like note in my phone of everything that I've cost or everything that I've bought and how much it cost. So in total right now I'm at I think $46,000. I'll have to check the note after I make this video, but I believe it's around $46,000 in mods. You know, some of these things don't really count as mods. Like I spent $8,500 on full body Expel PPF. Stealth PPF, of course, because it is frozen paint. So I didn't want to get rid of that look. So like I spent, yeah, $8,500 on the PPF, $1,000 on ceramic coating. So that's, you know, a quarter of the budget right there, like 10 grand was just on PPF. The wheels plus tires were $12,500, I want to say. So right there, you know, that's over half the budget on just wheels and PPF. So it doesn't all technically count. But you know, it is part of the price. I paid $5,000 to swap the buckets in. So that's, you know, an extra $5,000. So between like those three mods, that's a majority of the expense. Some of the things like the active auto work stuff was not cheap, but I didn't want to cheap out this car. I wanted to make sure that I got the highest quality parts that I could. In certain aspects, just, you know, things like carbon fiber, I guess you don't really have to pay as much attention to, but when it comes to things like catted down pipes and making sure you don't have a check engine light, getting a good sound, a good tone, the fitment's nice, the tips all line up properly, that's kind of where that money was spent, and I don't really regret it. So yeah, that's pretty much going to be the end of this video. Any questions or comments, let me know. I will drop the full mod list in the description along with the prices of everything. Again, don't crucify me for it. Not everything's going to be perfect. If you go online, you go to whatever your favorite website is to buy parts and look it up. They might not be 100% accurate, but you know, at the time that I purchased them or the deal that was made, that's what I paid. So yeah, should be around $46,000. Again, you'll see in the description of this video. If you made it this far, thanks for watching. I know this is kind of a boring video. Without too much to talk about in terms of crazy performance mods and whatnot, but pretty happy with this car. The last 2 years have been fantastic with it. I don't see it going anywhere anytime soon. I know a lot of guys are jumping to like the new G90 or the G87 when those came out, but for me, I think this is going to be it.